Answer your in-depth, probing questions here. I tell you what, that 21 is one of the better ball handlers I've seen for them. He is so crafty. You know, he uses hesitation, and I watched him in the other games, and he's a load. He did a good job. Yeah, no, he's.
First half where he dished that ball.
You should have seen him against Wake Forest at the end. He put him on their back and was at the rim, diming him. Yep. What year is he? Oh yeah, that's right. He played like 8 or 9 games last year because of an injury. So. Are we ready? Or no? Sorry. We can go without that.
You're going to go by. All right. We are ready for Coach Bennett. We'll start in front with Mr. Jeff White. Thank you.
Tony, Jay has not really been a back-to-the-basket post player for most of his career, but he obviously has a big height advantage over almost everybody he plays. Have you encouraged him to develop that part of the game in the jump hook?
Yeah, of course. You know, he has very good touch and skill, and I'm glad he stepped out and hit that three, but you take what the defense gives you, and sometimes when there's guys that are, you know, smaller than him or he can get good enough position, then he can play over the top. And so, for sure, those are ways, you know, this is obviously different this year, so the ability to get some inside-outside action, scoring there, you know, he blocked some shots and certainly showed both ways, good with his footwork, so we'll keep working on that. But he's continued to add to that. He's gotten stronger, and all those things are showing. Great article, by the way, Jeff, on that my wife sent me that you wrote on Hall. It was on Bryce Hall. Not on our program, but on that. You probably write good ones on us. I don't read this, but the one, well, that too, but there's a great article. That was really cool. He's a special young man.
Tony, what do you guys get out of a game like this? Anything?
Yeah.
Just playing time for the young guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, you know, we respect everyone. Our team, you know, I watched them. They took Wake Forest to a tight game, and they run difficult stuff to guard. I was commenting on their player, Mike Smith. You know, he's so clever with the ball. He puts pressure on your defense. You better figure out what you're going to do when either he's coming off handoffs or ball screens. So they pressure you that way, and they run some Princeton-like action that's cutting and moving. So it tests your discipline, and at times it exposed a few things where we weren't disciplined. And then, you know, we've gone against 2 teams that have played primarily zone. So this team played more of a kind of a similar pack defense, and they played the ball screens a little different. So, you know, every opportunity for us is huge to just try to forge our identity. I think the message was, I think you know what your identity is. Now we got to show it and show it for the majority of the game. But yeah, there's a lot of again opportunities out there, and everyone stayed healthy. It was great to see Poppy Francisco get his first basket. So still, this team with its inexperience is still trying to figure out rotations. You know, how we need to play.
Coach, 34, 42. From the outside, at least, that looks really strong. From your point of view, how do you feel like the defense has played so far this season, and what do you like, what do you not like?
Yeah, I think there was really good stretches today of defense and really good stretches of offense. And then there were some moments where, whether it was personnel-based or an experience where we weren't as good as we can. But as I said, I think we know what our identity has to be. We got to keep showing that. So we just want to keep making it hard for opponents to score against us. And I think you see at times when we've gotten in trouble, we've been able to block some shots at the rim, and we've been solid for sure, and that'll have to continue to improve little by little. And, you know, competition different teams have different matchups, that'll continue to increase, so that'll always be the staple for this team.
Yeah, Coach, it seems like, you know, we've seen bits and spurts of Jay Huff over the past couple of years, but, you know, we kind of saw it all out there today. What has he really done to kind of impact the game, just playing more minutes this year?
Yeah, I think he's continued to improve. He's a year stronger from last year. His ability to, you know, as we said, you saw I like it when he is active defensively with his shot blocking, and then as, I don't know, Doug or someone asked about his inside, or Jeff did, was it you who asked that question, that he can score inside? Someone did that. But he's showing some touch back to the basket, some hooks, and obviously he hit the three. So skilled offensive player that's continuing to get the playing time and as a weapon for us offensively, which of course we need.
Jerry, then Jeff.
Tony, what were your expectations for Kihei coming into this season, and are you concerned that he's going to have to play a whole lot of minutes going forward?
Yeah, of course. My expectations were just improve, take another step from last year's team. It'll be a little different role, different players, but he's gotten stronger, and he played a lot last year as a first year. So I like that he's trying to lead. He's looking without losing himself, taking some three balls, a little more aggressive offensively. We're trying to do some things a little different for him that I think play into our strengths. But of course, he'll have to play a lot. And but I don't know how many minutes he averaged last year, but he might surpass that this year. We'll see.
Jeff, then Akil.
Casey scored a lot of points in high school at St. John's. Is he just pressing right now with the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that's these guys that are new. They have to just get used to it, right? He does at times. He's gotten some looks. I think it's a comfort level. It's being ready. He's been doing a solid job on the ball defensively. It's a lot, for these guys to come in. Thomas, who's played at least community college, has a little more experience, but really Casey for sure and Cody, this is new to them, and the intensity of the game, the pace of it when you get in the game. So that's why these experiences are valuable when they can get some time, and it's not a possession game where it's going to crush you if they're not quite ready or they're finding their way. So Casey did score some in high school, and like I said, he's hasn't shot it particularly well, obviously, but he's got stuff to offer, and I think you just keep working. We used a quote for these young guys and for our team: it takes courage to not get discouraged. So if you're not playing at what you're used to, which happens a lot for young guys, old guys, everyone, for coaches too, takes courage to not get discouraged when it's either not going your way. And so I just keep telling guys, stay encouraged, keep working, and it's going to keep stepping up, and opportunities will present themselves for sure.
Akil, then Doug.
Coach, Cody, we always have heard of him as a perimeter shooter, but I think this game.
Did you say Cody?
Yeah, Cody.
Oh, okay. Yep.
He made a lot of efforts to kind of get to the basket. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that and how he's been able to work on that?
Yeah, I think he's a deceptive slasher. I thought we had some trouble handling the ball when we got into traffic. But, no, Cody's a deceptive, his ability to put it on the floor and get there, and he is 6'7", so that's there. He'll keep working on. You want him to take what the defense gives you, but I like it when a few games he's gotten in there and made some plays, and again, at times he'll have to take those shots, but right now, obviously, those guys are struggling a little bit with their rhythm and their confidence when the shot presents himself. So when that happens, sometimes, all right, put it on the floor and try to make the right play out of it.
Okay, last question.
I think I know the answer to this, but you'd held back-to-back opponents to 34 points. Any kind of challenge today to keep this team under 40?
No, not at all. It was just, try to, like I said, be like a dripping faucet, drip, drip, drip. That's just constant with your defensive positioning and your pressure and making them earn. And I don't think it was in spots. And I thought Braxton had a really good second half. No one asked, but I thought he did a really good job in the second half, and always is good on the glass. So that was good. But no, there was no number goals. Just make them earn. So yes, you did know the answer to that, Doug.
Thanks